Are you looking for the best circular saw guide rail in your budget? Well, in today's video we break down the top 5 best circular saw guide rail that are available on the market. I made this list based on their price, quality, durability, and more. To find out more information about this product, you can check out the description below, and also make sure you subscribe for more reviews. Okay, so let's get started with the video. The 5th product on our list is the Emerson Tool Co. C50-50-inch all-in-one contractor straight-edge clamping tool guide. This lightweight tool was undoubtedly our favorite. Smooth and versatile, we were able to quickly move it through all of our testing, and those reviewers who gave it a shot found it simple and fast when it came to setup. There are smaller options available with this tool, but if you're only going to pick up one guide, well, the extra strong nylon clamp gave us no trouble no matter what we were cutting. It was easily the second most stable of the ones we tried out. Emerson Tool Co. C50 Clamping Tool Guide. For the price is a little bit high but fairly modest in comparison to most RIP guides. This one, in particular, is high-grade aluminum and contractor ready while still being a viable purchase for the home hobbyist. It's not going to square itself, of course, but ultimately simplicity is exactly what you want in a guide. There are also attachments available to make it work with a router, taking it to the next level of usefulness. Up next in the 4th place is the aluminum Festool FS1400 over 255 guide rail. While weighing a little bit more, this was the highest quality of all of the differing circular saw rail systems that we tried out. We're just not sure the expense is worth it for the average person, although if you're making high-grade furniture it would likely be a worthy investment. This one is made specifically to work with track saws, so if you're willing to drop the money on one of those advanced saws in the first place, then you're probably not going to balk at the price. That said, we found it worked just fine with the Makita we tested it with. It did have some trouble keeping in place with particularly small pieces, but we found that it was incredible over about the 24 range. It's remarkably precise outside of that range. Overall, this is a professional grade saw track and we won't begrudge the price. Those who really need the difference in quality probably won't hesitate. The 3rd product on our list is the EASZ SMMT Track Saw System 108. This was the longest default rail system we tried, although the Festool is modular and it can be expanded to a similar length. It held well, but we certainly don't recommend it for smaller workpieces for obvious reasons. It also allows for beveled cuts which most in the same price range can't touch. This particular saw rail system comes in 255 pieces which are easy to attach. Unfortunately, the clamps are a bit more of a pain to use than with our top pick or the expensive Festool, but it's a small price to pay as this track was remarkably stable through the whole of its length, and 108 is no small feat. The real question is if you really need the excess length. If you're regularly ripping in the 72 plus range, then this is the guide for you, but most people will be just as well served with something in the 50-55 range. Second on our list is the Kreg KMA2685 Rip Cut Circular Saw Guide. While not our go-to pick, this one worked remarkably well on smaller pieces that gave even our favorites trouble. Combined with the great build quality and low price, we decided that it had to make our list. This would be an ideal rail system for those who are just trying to make precise cuts on smaller pieces of wood. It readily handled 2x4s for instance, without us having to do any extra balancing. Kreg KMA2685 Circular Saw Guide 2-Pack 3. That said, the smaller size also makes it the exact wrong guide to use if you're looking to cut paneling, tabletops, or other larger pieces of wood. The biggest problem in our eyes is that the rip fence on the saw is made of plastic. It held up without any damage during our testing, but it may not be the right tool if you're planning on daily use. It's cheap enough that it would be a good stopgap for a beginning framer. Finally, the top product on our list is the Bora WTX Clamp Edge and Straight Cut Guide for Circular Saws. If you're looking for a cheap but effective guide system for your circular saw, then you'll be well served with the Bora WTX. It's no miracle of technology, but it's a solid piece and the price makes it well worth a second glance. Keep in mind that it's not on par with the other 4 when it comes to stability. If you're going to lean heavily on the rails guiding your saw, then you should probably give this one a pass, but for those who aren't heavy-handed in the first place, Bora WTX Clamp Edge 100-inch cutting length 6, there's a tiny bit of flex when pushing heavily, so try to use it more as a guide than as something to lean against. We didn't find it really mattered for most of the people who used it, but it is something to be aware of. The clamps work quite well, it's just the metal isn't quite as hard as they'd like. Ours also came with some sort of sticky residue along the side. We cleaned it off with isopropyl alcohol before we began using it, and we're not sure if it was a quality control defect or if it's normal. We did see a few other reports of it, but it didn't seem ubiquitous. Thanks for watching, and that's all for now, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Till next time.